So, what is up, guys? The Strong Boys 19 here. Welcome to the very first live stream for 2021. And just like I said on the last random short video of announcing this, well, planned, I guess, live stream, that I am very, very sorry that I did not make any video at all whatsoever for 1 month. It is because, you know, I didn't have the motivation or just the time and the confidence to make a video, but I just decided to, take things down, have a bit of a break just to relax and, recuperate with what I've been doing. But I've been doing okay, and I do miss the interactions a lot lately, and this channel has been a very big hobby and a favorite part of who I am, basically. And I don't want to go on too much about it because it's just not really the point. But all I will say is thank you so much for the growing amount of the subscribers, and I don't always think, well, I don't ever actually think about the views that I have been getting because of anyone watching the videos, and even with the subscribers, because whoever subscribes to my channel, even if it's just a few people, it does mean the world to me. So at the end of the day, sometimes a break is definitely worth it. And I am really glad that some of you guys do understand. And, let's just have a chill time, hang out. I will be online, though, for a couple of hours because it is 9 in the evening where I'm at. So I think I might wrap this up at around 11 p.m.-ish, UK time. So, yeah, I see a few viewers coming in. Thank you very much. And by the way, as well, it doesn't matter, how many people would tune into a live stream that I do, because I don't want to be one of these people that is just, begging for attention, because that's not really me. That's not who I am. What really matters to me is, for anyone to, come by and say hello to me, and we'll just have a good time. That's the way it is. And, let's just get things started. And, that's just basically all I will have to say on that note for the most part. And, I would have said more, but, the other things I'll just have to, keep to myself. Anyway, Shizazzle, how's it going, man? I know it has been some time since I've last seen you. And I actually didn't see your comments the last time I had gone back to YouTube. But I am almost... as well, by the way, up to 1.6 thousand subscribers. Well, no, 1,600, I think. So 1,600. Thank you all very, very much. And I'm going to have a look at the comments. And I was just checking the phone. And yes, it is a live streaming. Shizazzle, no need to apologize, my man. Everything's cool. Hopefully I can remember the live stream tomorrow. And I am looking forward to the stream. See you tomorrow. Thank you, mate. Blackwater Rust and the Metabolic Pulse 2007. I'll like each of these comments just to let them know that I am still here. I am back on YouTube. But that's another thing I'll have to say. For the time for me making videos, it has to be, for me, at a very comfortable pace, because at the moment I'm not really in a very productive amount of matter to make as many videos as I want to. But once I feel really back up to scratch, I would love to do more videos. I remember the next video that I was going to be doing originally was on the Megadeth album of Cryptic Writings. And then I will be doing, other videos, maybe another album review or, a music Q&A. I'll have to do the video of answering your comments on the best and the worst album covers of all time. And and also I'll have to do the meditation video, and as well as the With the Beatles album review. I did see some comments coming in. Big Chunky 22, how's it going, brother? Shizazzle, I'm glad you are doing quite well. Johnny Tron, hello there, man. I like your hockey mask. Yeah, that's just a random thing. If somebody's interested in the mask, it's just a mask that has been with me for a really, really long time. Pretty much around the time when I was, I think, getting into Slipknot in the mid 2000s. But if that's not the right time, then I might as well just say that I've had that mask for ages. Guitar Storms. I do miss a lot of you guys, the regulars who decide to come by and comment and chat. Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Sorry, I'm only popping in at work on the night shift. If you get a chance, check out Adrian Smith and Richie Kotzen's new records. A few songs up on YouTube already. That sounds pretty cool, man. I mean, I do love some Adrian Smith, and I'll have to check that out. On the left, yeah, it's my left, and it'll be your right. Well, no, actually, doesn't matter. It's your left if you see me on the screen. Guitar Storms, stay safe and keep the music going, brother. Thank you, Guitar Storms. I really, really appreciate it very, very much, and as well as the rest of you guys, because it just shows from me to you that I do respect and care very, very much, and I will have to stay on YouTube by my choice as much as I want to. Shizazzle, what are your thoughts on the Sacred Reich reissues from Metal Blade? I haven't really looked at them, to be honest, but record labels like Metal Blade, they are one of my favorite record labels. And also, I need to do some more 2021 album reviews. There has been a bit of a bundle that had been released that I had missed out on. I was going to be going into the new Korpiklani album, which I will review, and as well as some of the later ones that are going to be coming out. I'm very anticipated for those. But I got other videos along the way. But the 2021 album reviews series will continue, and I have not forgotten it whatsoever. By the way, if you haven't seen my previous ones that I had done so far, please check them out, share a like, and comment. Johnny Tron, oh well, I have to go. Come after your stream at my channel. You will be welcomed. Have a great day, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you, Johnny Tron. Be mindful and wise. Oh, man. I am really happy to see you here, and as well as the rest of you guys. And also, if there's anybody that's just watching instead of commenting, cheers for coming in. So it's awesome to see you again, man. Guitar Storms, back to work now. Peace out and stay positive. That's the thing that I really need to do, because the positive mental attitude has not been with me for weeks, but what really connects with me a lot is still the obsession and the passion for the music, because music is the best, and that is, and I say that is a not only an opinion, it is a fact. And musicians will say that. Well, they'll just say the same thing, and they will have to say their separate opinions on music, why it means so much to them. But with music, for me, music has always been one of the most glorifying and grateful feelings to have when you listen to music for any genre that inspires millions. And I know it may sound as cliche to say, but I always have to say that music has been the biggest passion of my time, ever since I have gotten into it. When I was in the early teens, to be honest. And the more I got into music, the more I had become a musician, guitar player, playing music, performing music, and you know, money collecting records and CDs. It does, not go away whatsoever. I mean, I've still got loads and loads of albums that I am very happy and very fortunate to have, just because of the amount of the work that I have been doing, and to have a collection that I'm very happy to have. Um, so I could always go on about music, because as much as music is a very big specialty to you guys, it's a specialty for anybody. Who doesn't love music? I see some more comments, and I'm talking over while I was looking at them, so I'll read them. Shizazel, if you are looking into Sacred Reich, I suggest checking out The American Way. It's their best album, in my opinion. Be Mindful and Wise. Are you looking forward to the new Gojira album? Yes, I have been quite a big fan of Gojira. I love their discography. Their album From Mars to Sirius is one of my favorite albums of all time. And, L'Enfant Sauvage, one of my favorite albums of the last decade. Magma is excellent as well. And I also need to check out their new single, and I didn't expect it whatsoever. I know that they have been making new material, but I'll have to check out the music video. Guitar Storms, hit the like button, guys, too. See you all. You keep us all positive. We all support each other. That is the best thing about it, because, the positivity is what we need. And not that I will go into this political thing at all, but, with the amount of the vaccines that are being sent out right now in the UK, millions of vaccines done. COVID-19 is almost, completely out and over here in this country. And once everything's going to be back to business, then it will be, a huge, huge relief, because, we've been going through this for more than a year. Well, actually, a year at this point, since we've heard about COVID-19 and the whole early beginnings of the whole pandemic. But I'm not going to go into that, because that's for another thing, which I don't really want to talk about at all, to be honest. But yeah, positivity is all that we need, and to spread the love and the care and the communications with each other, behaving ourselves, looking after each other, friends and the loved ones and family, etc. Big Chunky 22. I'm very excited for the new Gojira album. Love that new song. Shizazel, I still need to listen to it, lol. The single, that is. I don't think that I would be doing a listening and reactions video for that. Here's one thing. There was a video that I had recorded around the time when Deftones' Ohms came out, the single. I was going to think about putting it up on YouTube, but I decided not to do it, because it did have the actual track in it, and I didn't want to get a copyright claim. Even if it's just a fast speed up part of not hearing the actual track, properly, I bet that I would still get a copyright claim. So, but yeah, I'll have to listen to the new Gojira track, and I'll see what I will think of it. Maybe in a video, or I'll just keep it to myself. But if not, when the new album will be coming out, I would like to talk about it for the album review of what's, becoming the new Gojira record of new material, and I'm very excited for that. And as well as, you know, the new Mastodon, because the new Mastodon is easily, you know, the most anticipated one to come out for this year. And Mastodon have been one of my favorite metal bands of all time. Personally, if I will have to make, you know, a list of top 10 bands of all time, I know I said this before, but if I'll have to make a video on that particular list, then Mastodon will be in there. You know, their discography to me is, you know, awesome, and I need to review their discography, and as well as to finish off the other discographies, and also to keep my mind refreshed, and to go into other discographies, you know, like Genesis, for example. That's all I have to say on that. Shizazzle, I had a huge phase of Mastodon, and now I'm starting to get into another phase of Mastodon. Lol. Crack the Sky is an absolute masterpiece. Yes, and Crack the Sky is always one of my top 10 favorite albums of all time. I even have a t-shirt of the album artwork. Well, without the album name and the Mastodon logo, but you may have seen it before from one of my previous update videos. You know, but you know, I could talk a lot on Crack the Sky, but that's going to have to wait until my album review on that. Be Mindful and Wise. The new Corpiclani album is quite good. They've always been consistent. Yes, and Corpiclani is another favorite band for me. They were one of the first Finnish metal bands that I had loved listening to because of the high, bright amount of optimism and the fun energy that their music has been for decades. And I love their discography because of just the whole wild, catchy, and fun part of listening to folk metal. And I know folk metal for me has been a genre that is a favorite, but I need to come back into the genre as well as to discover and listen back to other bands into the genre of folk metal. But I am looking forward to listening to the new Corpiclani album. Big Chunky 22, nice Slipknot posters. Thank you. I believe I have 1, 2, 3, 8 posters of Slipknot. Actually 9, because there is one that I had not put up yet. I know it's not on this side, but over there, well, as I'm pointing at it, I have I think an American-made Slipknot flag. I think it's American-made, but it was around the time from the Iowa. No, sorry, the self-titled era from 2000. But if you want to have a look at it, I suggest that you should check out my my video of my video saying to you guys that I've been a fan of Slipknot for 10 years, and that was back in 2016. And I know that video has been, like, you know, on for a long, long time for now. But you know, you have to check it out if you want. And also, I talked about, you know, my history and my time of getting into the band, saying, you know, these things, and the discovery of, you know, getting into Slipknot and all that. But yeah. Oh yeah, Be Mindful and Wise. Crack the Sky is so good and is the album that got me into Mastodon. It's funny you say, because that is the one that got me into Mastodon. And I did, you know, not listen to any other Mastodon album other than Crack the Sky when I was getting into the band. Because Crack the Sky is an album that was just something very new to me. It's very, very new, and to discover progressive metal at an awesome new phase, and that was the album that was, a perfect and amazing introduction to the band, and as well as to listen to Leviathan, and since the past few months, loving more onto the Remission record, and also with the later stuff. I actually think that some of the later Mastodon stuff is quite underrated. Once More Round the Sun, for example. I would have to say that their discography is, I guess, well, not near perfect, but I think it's still an amazing discography. But their discography of albums, of material, from the heavy stuff to the classic stuff of their songs and songwriting, the melodic stuff, just some perfection of metal. Shizazo, I've been mindful and wise. Same. That album drew me in real hard. Favorite Anthrax album. My favorite Anthrax album would be Among the Living. And I know that album choice is pretty, well, as obvious, but Among the Living was the album that got me into Anthrax. But Persistence of Time is another one of my favorites. I think some of the later Anthrax stuff I'll have to check out, but I do have a bit more of them on CD. But yeah, that album, Persistence of Time, as well, they're really, really good. Among the Living is just a classic album, but Persistence is one of my, I think, top 3. Yeah, Big Chunky 22. Good night, guys. See you all soon. Rock on. Thank you very much, Big Chunky 22. Thank you for coming into the stream, and hope to see you in a new video or a live stream. Yeah. So Pecky Peck, hi strong boys. Miss you, man. Hope you're okay. Miss you too, man. And look what I've got on. Fancy that? Yeah, a t-shirt that's not being shown at all in any of my videos until this point. The t-shirt of the album cover of my favorite Ian Brown album of Golden Greats. But yeah, Big Chunky 22, thank you very much for commenting, and as well as with the rest of you guys. And the excitement, the attention of seeing the comments has been growing very, very well, and it's always been one of the favorite things to do on the channel, because just because I'm a YouTuber making videos does not mean that I should not come to you guys and just have a chat. And also, if you want to vid chat to me on Instagram or on Skype, then hit me up. GB Music Buff, all in one word, is my Instagram, and my YouTube channel name is the same on my Skype. So yeah, but Pecky Peck, I hope you are okay, and hope your missus and the son are as well, and your family. Shizazzle, I'm thinking my favorite Anthrax record might be The Sound of White Noise. With that record, mate, do some Anthrax fans say that's one of their best albums or one of their underrated ones? Because I'm not quite sure. Because there were parts of me that thinks like, is this underrated and not known as one of the best, or is it the album that's known as one of the best? Because even though that Anthrax at that point had been going through lineup change, but I have always loved Anthrax with Joey Belladonna. The only one Anthrax album that I don't like is Stomp 442 very much. I remember listening to that album when I used to have Spotify, and I just did not care for it. I didn't care for the the sound, the songwriting, and it's just not one of those albums that I find to be very memorable. But with the early Anthrax, it's one of those albums, like Among the Living and Persistence of Time, early Anthrax, that is always very passionate, dedicated, and consistent of the originality, with one of the best thrash, um, you know, amazing anthem classic songs. So I'll have to check that album out on The Sound of White Noise. But yeah, so I'll have to dig that. Pecky Peck, when playing live, will a standard home keyboard like a Yamaha or a Casio work in a live environment? Um, for live shows, with big major bands, I think the Yamaha has always been a very consistent instrument, and it's the same thing with like synthesizers and organs. Take a lot of the instrumentation from acts into the electronic stuff or the progressive rock side. Those types of bands, they always, be very presentable by getting a keyboard involved with the rest of the instruments, for popular for popular bands to get a lot of the the sounds that they have developed and have their signature sound. But with keyboards on live shows, that is another instrument that's I would say as consistent, but with the type of music and live shows that I watch, not all of them do show keyboards. It just depends on the bands that I listen to. I'm going a little bit all over the place here, and I'm sorry, but I think with the keyboards part, say with Pink Floyd or Yes, for example, or even on some synthesizer acts like Tangerine Dream, for example. Those types of instruments are, the main instruments, like on Pink Floyd and Yes, besides the guitars and the sound of the vocals. But with progressive rock music, keyboards is a very important, distinctive part of the genre. I could go on about it more, but I see another comment from you. And will a keyboard's built-in speakers be enough to project the sound live, or would I need an amp? I think back in like the 70s, I think the keyboards had to be PA'd through the speakers. But with, the modern stuff of technology, they always have to be amplified, connected to an amp, I believe, and have a separate microphone to amplify the sound more. And I don't know if that is true or not, but that is like, my guess, because technology for music, technology has been very much more, I would say, advanced. Because in those days, previously, things were very, very simple. Acquiring a lot of the cables and the adjustments to get everything set up as easy and simple as possible. But with the stuff going around for today, especially for bands going live, they always have to get that correct part of hearing everything correct, through a sound check, and get the right tones of what sound needs to be projected, not only to the ears of the audience and the speakers, but to hear everything correct to you. I'm not really an expert on that part of music technology. I'm just in it for the music and to, play guitar and perform. But to get the sound and get everything PA'd in a much more advanced part of technology, that is, truly worth of a dedication, to get everything right. I know that that answer all the way through is a little um, indifferent in my opinion, but I gave it a shot, really. Yeah. So that's all I have to say. Yeah. Be Mindful and Wise. Sound of White Noise is quite an underrated Anthrax album. Okay. So I'll have to listen to that one. Um, Ash Sterling, thanks for helping me with 36 by System of a Down. Oh my god. That is one of the oldest videos I've done. It was just a random guitar lesson. And that was just a song that I decided to do because it was so simple. And it was a song that I randomly decided to do. It just went straight to my head, you know, because it's just that basic. Well, a lot of System of a Down's music has been very basic, but that's the part of the charm. It's the beauty of the energy, the big, awesome excitement to play, you know, that type of music, just to get the adrenaline going and the boost of, you know, really feeling the vibe of playing some of your favorite band's music. And System of a Down's music is always a favorite for me because their discography to me is excellent. And I know that they are always that political charged, you know, millions of times from the start to the end. But the music always grabbed me for the attention, for the random stuff, to, you know, hearing the guitar aggressively with the chords and the vocals and the drums, etc. But yeah, I love System of a Down very much. So, Shizazzle, what are some of your favorite solos? There is so many guitar solos that I love. You know, one of them, you know, has to go to, you know, one of the Pink Floyd tracks, "Shine On You Crazy Diamond," to you know, something from "Wish You Were Here," or "Animals," or for other bands like the Beatles. That's another one. To Oasis and you know, Slipknot, to Mastodon. I think Tool, to Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, AC/DC, the Stone Roses. You know, there's so many, but I think always, well, actually, not I think, always, my favorite guitar solo, I said this before, but it is Machine Gun by Jimi Hendrix. Well, the Band of Gypsies, the Band of Gypsies original 1970 live album. But if I have to make a list of favorite guitar solos of all time, that's going to be very, very difficult. But maybe I would do that. So I would have said, you know, the songs, but you know, there's just too much to say. Yeah. Be Mindful and Wise. It's hard to believe System of a Down's Toxicity will be 20 this year. That album has a special place for me. It's crazy. System of a Down's Toxicity is one of my favorite albums of 2001 and favorites of all fucking time. And I'm not just saying that, I do mean it, because I adore the album. I would maybe do a classic albums revisited episode on that, now that you mentioned it. And also with Slipknot's discography, Slipknot's Iowa turns 20. The first UK #1 album for Slipknot. I'll have to review Toxicity. That's another album in my album review to-do list. As Sterling at Be Mindful and Wise. Down. I was just looking at the previous comment from Be Mindful. The Shizazzle, Killers from Iron Maiden will be 40 years old. it has always been crazy to think that Iron Maiden had been a band for 45 years now, and their first album um, uh, will be actually turned 40 last year, but their second album is one of my favorites. I still think that their first album is more onto the favorite, a bit higher, but that one's really good as well. The first Iron Maiden album to me is just more favorable into memorable and just the awesome raw adrenaline punky kind of heavy admiration. Excuse me. Actually, it already has. As Sterling, I agree, man. System of a Down has helped me through the years. They were one of the first bands that got me into metal music, and I'll never forget the time that I was, obsessed with Toxicity. Just the music video to it, and to discover a lot more. Eerie Joe 7. One of my favorite solos is Interzone by Joy Division. I haven't listened back to Joy Division for a long, long time, but I do like them. But I prefer other Manchester bands than them. But they've been a big name in the Manchester music scene. But I have been more of a fan onto the Stone Roses and Oasis. Love some Happy Mondays. 808 State. I do like them. So, but yeah, can't go wrong with some of the astronomical classic greats. Shizazel, the ending solo to Prisoners of Fate, Heathen is incredible. Asterling, nice Jimi Hendrix. Sterling, what's your favorite Led Zeppelin song? For me personally, Heartbreaker. I think my favorite Led Zeppelin track, it used to be Rock and Roll, but I think the more I listen to Led Zeppelin, the choices, have changed. I love, quite a lot of Led Zeppelin's tracks. But my favorite is In the Light from the album of Physical Graffiti. So I do love how progressive sometimes Zeppelin really took from their passion on starting, very bluesy, and then to explore and progress, because onto Jimmy Page's and Robert Plant's way of creative songwriting. And I know a lot of people always target them a lot on plagiarism, but you just cannot deny, for the matter of the fact, that Led Zeppelin made some of the greatest songs of all time, and that's my opinion. And they've been a favorite rock band to me, personally in my top 10, but not in my top 5, for sake of listening to a lot of rock bands. But you can't go wrong with a lot of the other obvious classics. So yes, we are almost 39 to 40 minutes in, guys, and I'm having a really nice time. And I promise you guys that I will be making videos. It depends on how I feel, because I'm not at the moment very productive and consistent enough to make more videos. And with just the amount of the time that has been going on, I think it was for me a nice time to step back from the internet and just to try and be as relaxed as possible, which I at this point am feeling relaxed. I feel very comfortable doing this again, and I should have made a video that I was going to take a break, but I didn't. because I know some of you may be thinking, like, where is he gone? Is he done? When's he coming back? But I am here. You don't need to worry anymore. The matter of the fact is that my channel is still here, and with more of the interaction that's growing still since the previous live streams of last year. I'm very grateful that it's not gone away, whatsoever. But yeah, that's all I have to say for that part. I'll have a drink with apple juice and lemonade. Almost done, guys. Sorry. Yeah. Woo! Oh, some more comments. Sterling, yeah, that's a good one. In the light. Airy Joe 7, thanks for introducing me to some classic albums. You're very welcome. And also, guys, if you haven't seen the early to mid era segment for now of classic albums revisited, please check them out. And the albums that I had reviewed mostly onto the segment are classic, rock stuff, a bit of experimental here and there. But for the metal stuff, I'll have to do that, very frequently, because I don't think I, really have given metal justice for that segment for now. Yeah, Asterling, do you like Nirvana? Yes, I do. I do like Nirvana. Nirvana's discography, being very brief and basic, but I do enjoy the grunge genre for the most part. It just depends on who I like more, because there are other ones that I prefer over Nirvana, to be honest with you. You've got some Alice in Chains to Pearl Jam to Soundgarden and, the other ones. But In Utero is my favorite album from them, by the way, if you're wondering. But I don't think I have discovered, more onto the genre, on the unknown, well, not unknown, but less popular bands of the genre. And that's the thing that I'll have to do for other ones as well, genres wise. Shazazul, what albums would y'all recommend for someone looking to getting into sludge metal? To be honest, I don't have, a big list of sludge metal, but I think one of the ones will have to be one of the eras of the Melvins, because some of their stuff at that point, pretty doomy and really sludgy and violent, filthy from the distortion guitar riffs. But if any of you guys want to recommend Shazazul an album from the genre, then feel free. We'll spread some more recommendations. And cheers for that. Cheers for that. Now that I'll have to get into sludge metal more myself, I barely have any albums whatsoever in my collection of sludge metal. Be Mindful and Wise, I think that's the best Nirvana album is In Utero. Billy Bishop, how you doing, man? What are your top favorite bands of all time? I'll have to make a list on that. And I had said it previously, well, earlier on, and through a previous one on a live stream. I would like to do a video on my top 10, 15, or maybe 20 favorite bands of all time. But it's always been very difficult for the most part, because, just because your favorite band is your favorite band does not mean that a discography is, the most consistent or like the most perfect. Because to be honest with you, you know there are loads of bands that have, amazing discographies, but not every discography is consistent of albums. It's impossible to have the one band that has to have a very complete perfection discography. Not even the Beatles, but the Beatles discography is one of the top greatest near perfect ones for sure. But it doesn't really make sense that you know one perfect band has to have a perfect discography, because that's not really, I don't think that's acceptable. Comparing that to other bands that have discographies um, that are not as good as others, that because that will lead into different comments from people. Anyway, I'm going off in a bit of a tangent, but yeah, for top 10 bands of all time, maybe I would like to do that, but it depends on the choices. But I have listened to so much that it's an astronomical amount to well choose from. Uh, Asterling at Shizazzle, anything from the Melvins? Yeah, Asterling, oh hell yeah, Asterling again. In Utero is good. Shizazzle, okay, thanks. You'll not be missing out anymore, man, because some of the Melvins stuff, some classics. Eerie Joe 7. My favorite album of 1989 is the Stone Roses self-titled. That is an album that I did review, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time. Not only for the singles, but for some of the other classic songs that are underrated. I love the Stone Roses self-titled. It's one of my top 10 favorite debuts of all time, not only in rock, but of all time. And when it comes to lists of debut albums for separate genres, I think that will be very easy for many, but for me, I would like to split it in different separate parts, combining the rock and the metal, and as well as maybe something outside of the music of those genres. Um, where am I now? Shizazzle, sorry. Favorite brand of chips? I mean, well, crisps here in the UK. Um, I think one of the main consistent ones that I loved, crisps wise, they're just Walkers, cheese and onion, prawn cocktail, salt and vinegar, my favorite flavor. Besides cheese and onion, prawn cocktail, those two are legendary favorites for me. But I love Pringles, sour cream and onion, to Doritos, you know, and the I think it's the Cool Ranch one, the UK, the blue packaging one, and also the um, tangy cheese. Now you're making me think of food. I think it's tangy cheese. I'm not quite sure, but yeah. Uh, food has been one of the things that I love as well. I love food. I love a lot of food that involves cheese, tomatoes, salads, healthy stuff, quiches. Um, yeah, that's something random, but I like it. Yeah. Uh, Billy Bishop, what's your favorite drummer of all time, heavy metal or rock? My favorite metal drummer of all time, I think, still for me, will have to be Dave McClain from Machine Head. Besides, I would say Joey Jordison, to Bill Ward from Black Sabbath, and who else? What's his name now? Brian Taylor from Mastodon. Those kinds of drummers with a lot of technicality or something very rhythmic. My favorite rock drummer is Keith Moon of The Who. And you can't go wrong with Led Zeppelin's John Bonham. I know a lot of people say that John Bonham is the greatest rock drummer of all time, but Keith Moon, as a drummer, even though that some people say that he's very sloppy, but he's never been a drummer that I find to be all that bad. I know he's a very loose drummer, but that's a part of his identity and charm. I know that he never practices at all, but he's just in it for the fun and the banging and all this shit. So Keith Moon, as one of my favorite drummers of all time, is still a huge influence for me. And also with Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater, another one of my favorite metal drummers, and Moon's a big inspiration for him as well. Drumming is one of my favorite things to do. I mean, I own a drum kit myself. Sorry about that. I own a drum kit, and I do love to improvise and, to jam out, feel the vibe, and to discover so many great talents. I would like to say so much more on drumming, but I see some more comments coming in, but that's a great question there. Yeah. Be mindful and wise. My favorite metal drummer is Gene Hoglan. Gene Hoglan, yeah. He's another legend in his own right. I love the guy very much. Not only his personality, very open, down to earth, characteristic, and very funny, but his drumming, very complex, even on those time signatures, playing with strapping young lads to Death Clock and a bit of Fear Factory. But I love to remember him being the drummer for Death Clock and Strapping Young Lad. Even then, that I didn't know that it was him. But Gene Hoglan's one of my favorite drummers in metal, of all time. If you haven't discovered Gene Hoglan, you have to see it. But yeah, I highly recommend him. Yeah. Asterling at Billy Bishop, probably John Dolmayan. John Dolmayan from System of a Down, he's another favorite for me. And some of his beats are very fun to play as well. And as well with, the numerous amount of songs that he made some very effective beats, still very fun to play. Airy Joe 7, The Big Ship, is not only my favorite Brian Eno track, it has to be one of the greatest songs of the 20th century. The Big Ship, the classic album, Another Green World, one of my top 3 favorite Eno albums of all time. Brian Eno's discography is very, very huge, and I haven't listened to a lot of his collaborative stuff yet. I loved some, but his main discography, some of my favorite albums of all time are from him. But when it comes to listening to Eno, he puts me in separate trances, in different separate moods and various places. And it can be motivational, can be meditative, it can be very surreal and vibrant, emotional, but I have a lot of his albums on CD, some on vinyl, yeah, but I'm interested to know what you think is your favorite Eno album. Shizazzle, favorite Typo Negative album. I haven't listened to Typo Negative yet enough to listened to a favorite album from them, but I'll have to dig onto them. I do really like some of Typo Negative, but it depends on the mood, um, with how I'm feeling to listening to that kind of stuff. Because while I do respect the genre, it's not one of the ones that I listen to um, from others of bands in that scene consistently. Matt, fancy seeing you, man. Thank you for coming in, mate. And Matt uh, Deru, I might have mispronounced that. I'm so sorry. But if you want to vid chat with me sometime, if you are okay with that, if you're free sometime, hit me up and we'll set something up. But thank you very much to see your comment there. How are you doing, man? He is, by the way, guys, he is another one of the fans and supporters. Just dedicating people for 66 Samus, who I did give a shout out for on my Holy Vlogfest video, the one that's up some months ago now. But if you want to discover 66 Samus, check him out, and also see him on Twitch if you have a Twitch account, Facebook. You know, he's another one of my favorite drummers and personalities. So yeah, but thank you for coming in, Matt. Billy Bishop, do you like Phil Collins? His music was on Miami Vice. I actually do really like some Phil Collins. But some of his solo stuff, earlier stuff, I like. I'm more of a Peter Gabriel fanatic, though. His solo stuff is one of my favorites because I love how artistic and moody and expression, versatility grown his music became. But with Phil Collins, I like some of his stuff. But yeah. Also, guys, by the way, Matt has a website of his own, and if you want to say the website to the chat here, Matt, then feel free, because his website, guys, is very, very good. He does his own separate typing internet album reviews by text of talking about albums he had listened to and reviewed. So yeah. Asterling, what do you guys think of System of a Down's new songs? I did enjoy them, but I don't think they are like as perfect as some of the classic stuff. But the second one that did come out is more of the favorite for me. I did talk about it before from, I believe, the last live stream of the last year. Maybe it's that one. But share your views on them, guys, if you want to. But I did enjoy them. I'm more of a fan on some of the early System of a Down stuff more. Billy Bishop, Bloody Kisses is my favorite Typo Negative album. And you know what? My mom agrees with me, and she says it's an awesome album. Amazing. Great stuff. Bloody Kisses is known as their best album, so yeah. Well, I'll have to dig into their discography. Shazazzle, for me, it's Life is Killing Me. Eerie Joe 7, my favorite Eno track is obviously Another Green album, Another Green World, followed by Apollo, Atmospheres and Soundtracks. That's another really good collaborative effort. Rock Music Forever 90. Substrong boys, when are you going to review Heaven and Hell's The Devil You Know? One of my friends and subscribers, Tyler, Greedy Selfish 97, formerly known as that, did suggest that album to me, which I'll have to do in the requested albums segment. But now that you are here, I will have to say I'm extremely sorry that I did not get to Mastodon's discography years ago at this point. And we are now 1 hour into the stream, guys. So it's 10 o'clock where I'm at. I will be staying for another hour. Um, what Mastodon does for me is that I think the discography is one of their really memorable and powerful stuff of metal music that it's just so good to always listen to them on repeat sometimes, even on some of their albums, early to some of the later stuff. But yeah, Rock Music Forever 90, I remember that, a long, long, astronomical while ago that you were the one that um, suggested the Mastodon discography to me, which I will be doing this year just to get it complete and review the new album. Not only for me, but to you and for the rest of Mastodon fans. Shazazzle, Motorhead album ranking. I haven't listened to all of Motorhead's albums, but that'll have to be something that I will have to do, maybe. But I'll have to listen to the new albums. From this year. But in between, I would like to listen to some more of them. Motorhead, some classic heavy metal bands. Yeah. Be Mindful and Wise. Bloody Kisses is the best Typo Negative album, and I'd say October Rust is a close second. Yeah, Billy Bishop again. What are some of your favorite movies? Some of my favorite movies. It depends on the genre. I love some horror. I love some comedy and action. The Terminator, Terminator 2, to let's see, Apocalypse Now, to Jaws. Some of the animated classic stuff, Toy Story 2, 1, The Incredibles, and The Godfather, for example. What else? Taxi Driver, Halloween. Looking at some movies here. There's a lot. There's a lot of movies that I have loved, but those are some of the ones that I have said. And if you want to see the 5-star full ratings of the movies that I think are classics and that I love, check out my rateyourmusic.com account of Sgt. Pepper's Music Buff, all in one word, but with each word they have the capital on each one. So yeah. Where am I? Be Mindful and Wise. I agree. Big Gabriel's solo stuff is better. So is such a great album. One of my favorite Peter Gabriel albums, for sure. However, it's not my favorite. My favorite Peter Gabriel album, I love the earlier stuff, I think, a bit more. But Us is my favorite Peter Gabriel album. It's one of my favorites of all time. Shazazzle at Billy Bishop. The Pick of Destiny is really good, and the soundtrack is killer. Also, The Rocker, Dumb and Dumber. That's my favorite comedy film. I haven't watched many movies, but those are my favorites, I guess. Some really good choices there, man. I need to review some more movies again, and I need to review Apocalypse Now. That's been on hold for far too long, and I need to review the 2018 movie of Halloween, because there's another one that's coming up that was going to be out until it was rescheduled to a later date. Um, Pecky Peck, will you review the Second Coming album? It should have been bigger than the first album. Underrated masterpiece. I did see your comments on that from my Stone Roses self-titled album review, and I will respond to that. But now that you are here, yes, Asterling, I like comedy. Can't go wrong with some of the comedy classic stuff. Rock Music Forever 90. Thoughts on Swedish doom metal legends Candlemass. I haven't listened to them a lot, but I do like the sound of them. I love some doom metal though. Some stuff like Earth 2, that first album as well, to some Sun. Sun's personally, maybe for now, my favorite drone doom style metal band. I love Sleep. They're one of my favorite bands. And you can't go wrong with Dope Smoker. Dope Smoker, one of the classic awesome metal gems. Joseph, thoughts on King Crimson? King Crimson is one of my favorite bands of all time. I love some of their stuff so much. In the Court of the Crimson King, To Lark's Tongues in Aspic, and even on underrated ones. I mean, I love Islands. I love that record. And I even dig the 80s stuff. Beat is one of my favorites. I have a few of them on CD, and of course on vinyl, really. But now that you mention it, I'll have to come back to King Crimson. In the Wake of Poseidon, to Red. Some of the best music ever created. Billy Bishop, thoughts on the Godfather movie trilogy? I really do like it a lot. The first two are more of the favorites. The Godfather is one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time. The Godfather Part 2 is an amazing sequel, one of my favorites, but it's not my favorite in the trilogy. The Godfather Part 3, I think, was disappointing. I'm not a fan of that film. I think it's very average, and it's just not a very well made sequel. I know it has been getting a lot of underrated comments and few flacking ones, but I just don't think it was a really appropriate finale to the trilogy. But I'll have to just stick to the first 2. But yeah, I still love the Godfather trilogy. The third one is the one that I just don't think I would like to watch as much. But really, the first one, I could watch it a lot more, and or Part 2. Eerie Joe 7, did you know that John Travolta made albums? All of them are rated under 2 on Radio Music. Lol. Good gosh. Why do actors make albums? Don't get me started on some of them. I don't think I would like to listen to John Travolta making music. Shizazzle, how do you listen to so much music so quickly, since it seems like you're fairly knowledgeable in music? I don't listen to, so much music just to get a lot of it in the collections very fast. I've been collecting music since before I was, really a teen, to be honest. And the more I explored more and more genres and to discover many different bands and artists, the history of my passion into the love of music as well is really the um, um, the course and the process of learning, discovering things along these ways. But I've been doing that for a long time, and I'm really grateful to still do it to this very day. I mean, to collect more and more records and CDs never ends for me, because it's just endless. I said it before, but collecting is another favorable thing to do, because not only that I like to collect, but it does show for me and for millions of people the passion and the dedication, the support of musicians and bands and loads of artists, to really care and share your appreciation for them. But when it comes to me being knowledgeable, thank you so much. And I do learn stuff by myself, even if it's for making a video. I learn things very well. Like when I learned a lot onto Sabbath's discography, when I reviewed each album from their discography, I learned things along these ways, and um, some more that has to be done for the Beatles, to Genesis, Pink Floyd, which I've done, by the way. But yeah, I am really appreciative that you say that I am knowledgeable from my passion to music. Billy Bishop, what are your thoughts on the Nothing by Korn? Do you plan on buying it sometime? Yes, I will review the Korn albums, the Korn discography, and I will be saving my thoughts for the Nothing. Do you plan on buying it? Yes, I will buy the Nothing, and I think it is one of their albums to be one of the better ones than some of the previous ones. I know that I did a ranking on their discography, but when it comes to reviews, I need to do them. Yeah, Corns are still one of my favorite bands, just for the absolute wild nostalgia and the thinking of their music, to the songs, to just a lot of the premise and the worldwide uh, purpose of people knowing who Korn are to this very day because of their music. And for me, being one of them, I loved discovering them. Be Mindful and Wise, the first 4 Korn albums are the best ones in my opinion. I think that as well, but I think it's always the first 2 and Issues. I think those 3 are my favorites. Even I like Untouchables a lot, even on some of the later stuff. But my favorite Korn albums, really, the top 2, those are to me the main ones for my choices. The Metabolic Pulse 2007. I'm late. You don't need to say that, man. At least that you are here, and thank you for coming in. So let's make each other very welcome, and stick around if you have anything to say, and feel free to share some things. How is my new name, by the way? By the way, I was Danny. Oh, Danny, yeah, Danny Shearer. The Metabolic Pulse 2007. Oh, I remember you now. The Metabolic Pulse 2007. I like that name. I like that you took the name Metabolic from these guys. But yeah, that's a very cool name. But if you have anything to say, feel free to say something. Okay, so by this time for the live stream, it's 45 minutes left, and once the live stream is going to go up to 2 hours, I'll have to end it here. But this is a very nice stream, and I think I have always been, unprepared for what I was going to say, but I've been trying my best. I've been, honest with some of the things that I've said, and to describe things and to share my views on anything to do with music. But I guess not everything has to be perfect for a stream. So I guess it's the way it is. So for now, this is just all raw, and I guess just free to just talk about anything, just like the previous live streams. Billy Bishop, what are your favorite cartoons growing up as a child? I loved some of the classics, like Tom and Jerry, to some of the Disney stuff. Flintstones. This is just going to take me back to a trip. You can't go wrong with with some of the classic cartoons there. But some of my favorite cartoons. There was a channel in the UK, Cartoon Network. I used to love watching Ed, Edd and Eddy, to Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. There was Robot Boy. Just random stuff like that. Simpsons. I loved watching that. I loved The Simpsons. But really on the earlier stuff, though, I can't really say or think really of anything else. But those are most of the ones that I love watching from the time. And, it's okay to revisit them, so you can watch whatever you want to watch. And I know that is pretty random, but you have a taste of your own, and as well as everyone else here and with me. So even if it's not only for cartoons, maybe just for movies or music, you could just do whatever you want to do. But with cartoons like the ones I've mentioned, those are most of the ones that I have thought of. Shizazzle, favorite color. My favorite color is black. Although I love an obsession color of blue. I love red, but something about blue, it just makes me very calm and meditative to pretty much relaxed and soothing. But a lot of the stuff is all onto the black color for the most part. So thank you very much as well, guys, for the people that decided to have the thumbs up button up to 8 likes. And I will be on for another 40 minutes, and once I will be back on YouTube for another video. I think maybe it would be onto the Megadeth album of Cryptic Writings, or a 2021 album review. Really depends on my time and my mood of making a video, because of what I've been feeling whilst I was away. But this is still very nice to do, and it's been a privilege to live stream again, and be on this channel again, because I've missed it a lot, and it's not it's not gone away. It's not gone away at all. Because whilst I was away, there were moments of me of just thinking about the channel, thinking about making videos, and with the interactions and the views sharing of your comments, and the whole vibe, the hobby of it. Billy Bishop, do you still do videos doing instrument covers for songs? I don't do it a lot, but there was one song that I decided to do instrumentally. Well, no, instrumentally and vocally, that I was going to put up onto the channel for last year, but since the whole worldwide COVID thing happened, it put it on hold. But musically is done, and vocally I'll have to do for sure. But it has been a cover that has been not active for actually, well, for 1 year, and that is a long time. But hopefully, I will get it posted later this year. Shizazel, the inspiration behind the song Black Sabbath is pretty creepy, to say the least. Yeah, it is. It's well, pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting at the same time, but as well as with some of the song meanings on some of the later Sabbath albums. But that one has been very, very common for Black Sabbath songs. The Metabolic Pulse 2007. What is your 3 favorite Korn songs from the self-titled? Well, besides Blind, I think one of them has to be Ball Tongue to Clown, and the other one I don't really know. It's hard to pick 3, but I think one of them, maybe Divine. But if I have to say more onto the tracks of the album, I'll have to review the album in full and talk about a lot of the tracks more onto reviewing the album, and as well as the later Korn stuff. I will review each Korn album to get a proper form of detail. But even with some of the underrated tracks on that album, I just love them as much as the singles. And to be honest with you, one of my favorite songs on there is Daddy. And I know it's the most disturbing metal song that Korn has ever done. Most disturbing song I've ever heard from metal, to be honest. But I will talk about it more in the album review. But yeah, Divine to the ones I've mentioned. Also, Shooting Ladders to Faggot. I will say more onto the album review for self-titled, and as well onto the latest stuff, as I said. But yeah, Pecky Peck, do you like the look of Solar guitars? Those guitars look beautifully made and badass. I do like the look of Solar guitars, and I'm always more of the Gibson guy, but I love some of the looks of Chapman guitars, some Gretsch, what other brands? I do, love some of the underrated ones, but I think it depends on the design and the details as well that interests me, because I don't really like the type of guitars that have the amount of awkward shapes and sizes on something far too um, cornered or pointy or awkward. You know, I'm more of always a guy that likes to see a guitar that looks like a classic, awesome looking guitar. The Metabolic Pulse 2007, nice picks. Yeah, but onto the guitars again for a bit. The type of guitars with the amount of the look is what draws me in, as well as the body shape. You know, like a Les Paul, for example, and also onto acoustic guitars with the beautiful amounts of solid, um, soft, smooth, clean mahogany wood type of design. And I don't mind other guitar designs with different amounts of wood, but the guitars that I love to play are mostly mahogany. But I like guitars that have some bit of stylistic and a worn characteristic vibe to them. Uh, Billy Bishop, my three favorite songs from the Korn album 1994 are Blind, Chutes and Ladders, and Fake. The Metabolic Pulse 2007, they're all great. Shazazzle, what are some of your favorite album productions? Favorite produced albums? It has to go to, you know, some from Mastodon to, you know, some King Crimson to Pink Floyd, the Beatles, Kraftwerk, for example, as well. Even on some of the remasters, you know. I think some of the Rolling Stones productions are really, really good. And Iron Maiden as well. But it depends on some of the remasters on some of the bands that you love listening to as well, because there are some remasters that sound, you know, really compressed and, you know, not as full and you know, great and rich sounding. But you know, when it comes to just the album's productions themselves, it has to, you know, really depend on inspires what inspires you and what you love the sound of, that draws the listening to you. The tone of drums, the tone of guitar, the tone of some effects vocally, or, you know, or just the album themselves. I think maybe I would like to do another question video of, you know, albums best production, or albums with awesome favorable production. Billy Bishop, why is Daddy by Korn the most disturbing metal song you've ever heard? What does that song talk about? I think you have to look up the meaning of that song. I'm not saying it here, but for many Korn fans, you know what the song is about. I will talk about that in the review of the album, just to save it, but it's mentally disturbing. That's why you see Jonathan being very vulnerable and mentally, well, difficult. But you know, Jonathan went through a lot. But that's all I would personally have to say on that, because it's a very serious topic that other people go through as well, and that I don't personally want, you know, to change feelings and emotions to make things very dark, for the most part, into this this moment, into the stream here. But because this is all about positivity and enjoyable stuff here. But you know, if you really want to know what the song is about, you have to have a research. We'll have a look. But I think for a song like that, mental, very mentally indeed. The Metabolic Pulse 2007, you should listen to it. So we got half an hour left, guys. Half an hour into the stream. 7 viewers, thank you. 10 likes. And it's always very appreciative for anyone that likes to just tune into the stream. I say this billions of times now, but I really and highly always mean it. That this is just one of the things to do in order to be very active and to reach more of the positivity. Because that even though that I am a guy that is on a camera talking to it, making videos or whatever, and posting it up on YouTube, doesn't mean that I shouldn't be avoiding my audience. The audience really matters as much as making videos. Billy Bishop's, any concerts you plan to go to when quarantine is over? What bands do you plan on seeing in the future? I don't really know. I haven't been purchasing tickets at all for seeing a band for this year. Well, actually, I've got one big band to see that was postponed from April to November, and it's Genesis from the of the Domino tour with 3 of the original members, and the 2 of them playing with them are touring musicians. Phil Collins's solo guitarist and Phil's son playing drums. But I think that is going to be maybe the only main big band concert that I will see. It's not until November. Well, I'm sure that I will have a great time because I wanted to see Genesis, even if it's not with Steve Hackett or Peter Gabriel. Doesn't matter to me. I adore Genesis with Peter Gabriel, and I love some with Phil Collins. But what really matters is just the name of Genesis, and to see some of the band members playing music of their stuff from their albums. That's what matters to me. So, and that's the same thing with many more other bands that I had been to see. I'm just in it for the music, not in it for just the sake of a lineup change. But I don't go to shows because of just a lineup change. That's not really the point for me, because what appeals to me is just seeing them playing music and have a great time with it, and that's that. So that's what I have to say, really. But yeah, going to a concert is a very different and new experience every time, because it's something that it's something warming. It's comforting. It's exciting mostly, because you are this excited to see one of your favorite artists or bands when you love listening to his or her or their albums, and then you get to see them for maybe the first time and see them more and more and more live. It's a different experience seeing it like that. So yeah, Billy Bishop again. Any musician's death hurts you the most? There's been a lot, and I really have not been comfortable going into topics about that. But sorry about saying that, guys. But the one that hurt me the most, I think, was Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin, I will admire her the most still for soul female musicians, but hearing it on her, that did hurt like a ton of bricks, really. I don't want to say anything else after that, but you know, Aretha Franklin, the Metabolic 2007. How will you celebrate Korn's 30th anniversary when it happens? I'm not sure. Maybe just listening to it again and, you know, celebrate the impact of growing the genre of new metal. Because really, with Korn's first album, that album has been a shape shifter of growing new metal, and it's always been known as one of the main household names into growing the genre for what it has to become. You know, it's just one of the things that it's fascinating to me, because even if somebody doesn't like a band of this kind of sound, or the genre, thinking about an album that grows a genre is significant. Still, it is one of the things that has to be respected, and as important that it is, I think by pioneering a genre is very special, not only as to grow music in a very artistic and a widely expression driven way, but to grow a genre is as awesome, really. So really, to think about that in a deeper detail, it's pretty interesting, really. Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you think about it, but I think I think making music that really makes something very new, a genre that has not been discovered whatsoever before, and to make it grow more and more and more with many new bands, albums that were released into the genre of that category. Um, I really do like some history of music that has been grown in various ways to ship shape a genre, or shape shift, whatever, however it goes. But I really like that very historic part of music. Billy Bishop, favorite album of 2020. It's Deftones' Ohms. Shizazel at Billy Bishop, maybe Empire of the Blind, Heathen, or Despicable Despicable EP by Carcass. They've got a new album coming out. Shizazel again, favorite Thin Lizzy record. I haven't listened to a lot of Thin Lizzy. I do like them, but they were not one of those uh, favorable bands that I listen to a lot. I love the whole sound of the twin guitars, riffs and soloing on the music, though. I just love hearing guitars that are not only technical on depending on the genre, but something very melodic and interactive with each other. And to hear guitar harmonies is wonderful to listen to. So that's one of my favorite sounds to hear when it comes to a guitar. Or if you just want to make harmonies by yourself on your guitar by having two notes or three notes at one time, it's pretty creative. But yeah, Thin Lizzy, I do enjoy Thin Lizzy. um I am interested to know what you think of Thin Lizzy as well. The Metabolic Pulse 2007. What's your favorite? Sorry, going off track. What's your opinion on Manson? I do like Marilyn Manson. I used to see and hear some music videos and songs from him, but to be honest, I've never been a fan. Yet I respect his work and his craft, but I don't think I'll ever buy him. Um, to add him in the collection. Billy Bishop, favorite rock or metal music festival? I don't really know, but when it comes to festivals, it it also depends on how they have been planned out and organized. I love some festivals like Woodstock to download, and maybe Bloodstock to um, the Isle of Wight. Uh, um, I'm really trying to think more and more, but I think for the most part, it's mostly onto the greats. The Fillmore East, that's another one of my um, favorites. Um, Even though that's not a festival, it's more of a venue. But rock and metal music festivals, I think with those types of ones I've said just now, those are the ones that just came into my head. There's Bloodstock, and Glastonbury. It depends also onto the lineups of bands and artists, of ones that I like or love to see and watch, really. Because sometimes with festivals, there are some that I just don't agree with the lineups of his or hers, of artists or bands at all. And it just spoils the experience. But even if there are some that I don't like, I could just accept it. But, if I was at a festival, it depends on who I would like to watch and see. There are some that I would have loved to see that, I would have had the chance to, but, didn't, very sadly. Because some of my favorite bands of all time have either been disbanded or have not been that active in the festivals of the ones I've said. But I think it just depends on really what's on the lineup and what interests me in the festival. Um, Shizazzle, I listened to Thin Lizzy and I enjoyed their stuff quite a bit. That's very cool, man. My favorite album from them is Chinatown, and I feel like Jailbreak is overrated. Um, Jailbreak being the most popular one. Um, I haven't listened to a lot of Thin Lizzy, but Jailbreak's been a very consistent one of albums. Um, when it comes to overrated albums, I wouldn't put Jailbreak in there because, like I said about my comments on Thin Lizzy, but if I had to listen to Jailbreak all the way through, I'll have to see how I feel about it. But if I really like it, I really like it. Um, but I think a lot of Thin Lizzy's stuff, my guess, if I would listen to them more and more, I think some of it would be very underrated and not as known as one of the greatest albums, one of the greatest albums of all time. But I bet that Jailbreak is, to many people, one of them. Shizazla, what kind of things do you find funny? I don't know. Uh, I guess something very comedic on my humor. Something. How should I put it? Maybe with dark comedy, with some funny, violent comedic stuff, to even some maybe vines, or that's a pretty random question to say. Um, I know this is really weird to say, but sometimes I laugh at some of the very simple and weirdest things on like Try not to laugh challenge videos. Well, yeah. Billy Bishop, favorite Slipknot album. My favorite Slipknot album is the self-titled one. The Metabolic Pulse 2007. Do you collect Slipknot masks? I don't collect Slipknot masks, unfortunately, because for the most part, in my opinion, a lot of the Slipknot masks that had been made were not very good. And speaking of Slipknot masks, there are loads of mask creators, and it takes so much dedication to get like a replica, like an accurate, a liking look of what type of Slipknot mask has been made. But if you are interested in um, what I consider to be the greatest Slipknot mask collector, who has, to me, the most accurate and awesome collection of Slipknot masks, check out the House of Masks. He is definitely the one for me. And I know that there are other ones that have got a lot of Slipknot masks in the collections, but he is the one. AJ is the YouTuber that I think needs a lot more subscribers and attention. To me, the greatest Slipknot mask collector in the world, and I love a lot of his videos. The Metabolic Pulse 2007. I watch him. Okay, so that's very cool. And to those that have not heard of him, for those that are Slipknot fans, check out his channel. Billy Bishop. The Metabolic Pulse 2007. AJ Good, the man. Billy Bishop, what are you planning to get in the next month? What have you bought in February music-wise? I haven't bought anything. And I have not been, in the mind of on collective stuff of records to CDs or, cool stuff. I haven't really got the mood to purchase some more stuff. So there has not been really an update for the end of February, and I apologize, guys. But since we're all here, I just thought that this is, I guess, of a different sort of an update, just to see how, for you guys, how I am and what I've been up to. But this usual update thing will have to come back in time for me to have some more stuff in the collection and, as always, present them to you guys. But that's all I would have to, say on that, because, just because I haven't bought a lot of stuff doesn't mean that I should be, stopping it for good, because I do like to share with you what I've bought, and for the rest of you guys and anybody, because it's what's keeping the passion and interest going of seeing my taste and sharing your comments, and see what your views and tastes are in music. It's just something very simple and basic, Shizazzle, I got a joke. What is blue and looks like a bucket? A blue bucket. Really? What? I don't really understand that, mate. I apologize. But yeah, with the update thing, I think with the updates, I try my best to make them as frequently as I can. And, I think with the amount of time of not being, in a mood of purchasing stuff, I guess I shouldn't really feel bad about it. But showing vinyl and CDs is one of my favorite things to do for a video. And I do love to, be in a caring and respectable mood to, share with you what I have been purchasing, as I've been doing that for a very, very long time. I've been doing the update thing for like more than 10 years. And I think that I would like to make it as very frequently as I possibly can. I know it's not frequent, for now, but you know, I'll have to, be very comfortable by making videos again. And I'm not saying that I've lost interest in it. It's just because, it's just the amount of time, and the passion for me to dedicate myself to make a video again. Apologies, guys, I'll have to go to the loo, but feel free to say something else. I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. See some more comments. Anyway, gotta get back on track. Anyway, we've got 10 minutes left, guys. So if you want to say some more stuff, you know what to do. And I will do my best, as always, to do my best responses as I can. Shazazzle again. What's brown and sticky? A stick. No, dude. Oh, what? Why do you have to say random stuff like this? Oh gosh, man. Billy Bishop. Thoughts on Korn guitar player Brian Head Welch. Always a distinctive and an awesome member of Korn, and as well as with James Monkey Schaffer, and they are always a classic pair together. One of my favorites rhythm guitarists as well. Just because you make something very effectively simple, but sounds heavy, it still sounds great. And with the type of genre that they had been, pioneering, and as well as the rest of Korn from the classic era, by releasing the first album and onwards, Korn, in my opinion, rhythm-wise, from those two, have made, I think, some of the really, really cool and a dynamic form of a range of sound to grow the sound of Korn, of what it is from then to today. But yeah, I love Monkey and Head together. Seen some comments. Metabolic. Shazazzle, this will be my last joke. What did the farmer say when he lost his tractor? Where is my tractor? Just really, well, very random and silly jokes. Metabolic, I know more yees. Pecky Peck, a Golden Greats t-shirt. Yeah, I think this album as well is an underrated favorite. Pecky Peck, what's your favorite Arnie quote? can be from any movie of his. Mine's my name is John Kimball, and I love my car. And put the cookie down. That one's one of my favorites as well. One of my favorites, who is your daddy and what does he do? Or I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Or hasta la vista, baby. You know, there's so many. Phantom Lord 76. On the topic of Korn, what is your favorite Korn album? Well, I did my favorite Korn album ranking video from my least favorite to my favorite, and my favorite is Life is Peachy. That's my favorite. But besides the first one, the Metabolic Pulse 2007, nice one. Shizazzle, what song has the best lyrics in your opinion? That is way too difficult. I can't answer just one. I can't answer, one song that has the best lyrics because it's very impossible. Some of the greatest songs of all time have to have some of the best words, some quotes to very accurate lines, but with just one song, I can't really pick one. All right, guys, we've got about 4.5 minutes left. But if I have to pick a song for best lyrics, in my opinion, I'll really have to think about it. La Pastas Ricas de Light. Hi. Hopefully I'm not butchered that. The Phantom Lord 76. My favorite is Untouchables. That's a really good Korn album. Well, it's one of my favorites. Shizazzle, can you try to do an American accent? No, I don't want to. I don't want to offend. Oh, Jake Bristow, how's it going, man? And I'm almost finished into the stream. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm apologetic that I will have to end the stream in a very few minutes, but I am really pleased to see you here. By the way, guys, he has a segment called Jake's Metal Chat, and he has done tons of interviews of various metal musicians from various different bands, talks about, their stuff of metal and what got them into metal, and have a fun chat with them just on the stuff that they do and all this stuff, and interviewing, as many metal musicians as possible. And check out his segments by looking at his channel. Does tons of videos on them. Give his channel a lot of the attention, the subscribers, and the support. That's my quick plug for you, mate. Shizazzle, you can mention some of your favorite lyrics if you want. I don't really know because there's too much for me to think about all in my head all at once. But I'll have to really think on that, mate, and I'm so sorry. But I'll have to do it at some point, maybe in a video. But, well, for now, not really. But I could try if I have to think of something for a video. The Phantom Lord 1976. When is your next live stream? I really don't know. It really depends if I feel like doing it. But I would like to do it sometime in the next few months. Yeah. But I would like to do another live stream very soon. Jake Bristow, what did you think of Crypt of Ice by Frozen Soul? It's a very, very good debut album for the band, and I did talk about the album. Jake Bristow, cheers, mate. Much appreciated. You're very welcome, mate. The Metabolic Pulse 2007. That's all right. Okay, guys. Right, so 20 seconds left until 2 hours. so by the 2 hour mark, I would like to wrap things up. Any more final comments or questions? Just to, expand it a bit longer, because it is almost 11 o'clock here, and we are now here 2 hours into this stream. So 12 thumbs up, 7 viewers, and I am really happy that I've been doing this again. And when it comes to the whole live streaming thing, it has to be always improvise, and just go with the flow. And I guess I shouldn't really think about things too much to be prepared for the sake of making a live stream. But when it comes to a live stream, it's just all relaxing and just to chill out. So I guess I shouldn't really be beating around the bush that much. But I always communicate as much as I possibly can. So Shizazzle, do you like rain? I do like rain, with the sound of rain. But when it comes to just the state of it, the weather, well, not really. The Phantom Lord 76, do you like Obituary? I do like a bit of Obituary. I like some of their stuff, but I prefer some of the other bands in the genre. I have liked and very respected the band in their sound and the separate identities that they have. But when it comes to other bands in the genre, the ones that I listened to more, they were more favorable to me than these guys. But I don't mind listening to them. But yeah, Shizazzle again, Obituary is some neato stuff. So yeah, I would pretty much say that is a wrap. But if you want to say one more question or one more just final thing, then feel free to drop it down. And I think the next video would possibly be onto a 2021 album. Maybe that's going to be the next one, and then maybe the Beatles, with the Beatles, or on Cryptic Writings. So yeah, the Metabolic Pulse 2007. What is your opinion on Yeez? I don't really understand that, mate. I just don't have like a very accurate explanation on something that I don't know of. But that is, well, random to say. Shizazzle, take care, man. Had fun on this stream. And there might be some more jokes in the near future. Thank you very much, Shizazzle, for coming into the stream. Metabolic Pulse 2007. Yeah, boys. Yeah, Phantom Lord 76. Have a good rest of your night and keep rocking, dude. Thank you. Thank you, mate, for coming into the stream. And as always, as I say the same things over and over again, but it's always very highly 100% appreciated that you are all amazing. And I love hanging out with you guys just to take things down, make things very easy for ourselves and have a good time as always. I say the same stuff, millions and millions and millions of stuff over and over and over again, but it does mean a lot, an astronomical amount. It means the world to me. Yeah. Metabolic, yee. Shizazzle Yi. Jake Bristow again. Hope you're keeping well and staying safe. Thank you, Jake. I hope you are staying safe and keeping very well too. So, yeah, with that being said, guys, I believe that this is a wrap up for this stream. And I know that from the start to the end here, I may have been a bit awkward, but it has been some time since I have been live streaming. But, you know, what what is coming out, it's out. Really, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Just for a very comfortable and easy hangout. Anyway, that's all I will have to say on that for 2+ hours at this point. Thank you very much for tuning into this live stream, and I will be back for another video. Whenever that may come, I have no idea, but I promise you guys this, that I will be making another video in maybe in the next few days or in the next few weeks, but we'll have to see on that. So, yeah, peace and love, guys, and thank you for watching. I'll keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.